what it is, what it ain't. I'm your host, Talking Face, and this could be news. How y'all doing out there? Before we get started, I want y'all to like, share, and subscribe this channel to all your friends and family, just to help me, your host, Talking Face, and the company that I work for, Royal Family Studios, provide y'all with new, more, and better content. So let's get started on today's video. I was going to talk about impeachment, but I'm going to let that marinate a little bit more and let it progress. And plus, it's a little boring. We already know that Trump is going to win 2020. Please get out there and vote for Donald Trump, because Democrats have lost their minds, and I'm going to show you how. Let's talk about Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. The state of Virginia is ran by Democrat Ralph Northam. If you don't remember, he's the guy that did this. Now, we still do not know for sure whether or not he was the man in the blackface or the Ku Klux Klan outfit, but I know one thing, two things for sure, three things for certain, that he is sticking to the Democratic roots of pure, outright racism. Now, he's not a racist, but let it be Trump that wore this outfit, he probably would have been deemed a racist, but that's besides the point. Today, the governor of Virginia is trying to pretty much go against the Second Amendment by limiting people to being able to only purchase one handgun a month. Now remember, these people said, we're not going after handguns, we just want assault rifles. Even though these people still do not know what assault rifles actually are and do not understand the simple fact that we don't sell assault rifles to just anybody. You have to go through a thorough background check to get an assault rifle or an automatic weapon. But anyway, I digress. And also, they are trying to limit people's capacity in their magazines to only 10 rounds. This is downright unconstitutional. So the great citizens of Virginia decided to take to the streets. During the lobbying of these bills, they said, yo, you're pretty much going against what we want as law-abiding citizens in the state of Virginia. Now, Governor Northam had this to say.
In Virginia Beach this weekend, we lost 12 precious lives. We have 4 individuals that are currently fighting for their lives. And, Virginians have spoken and said it's time for us as legislators and as their governor to act.
Compared to how this rally looks to me, it seems like the people are against the laws that he is trying to pass. And they're pretty much adamant about it. But the news media seems to be lying, as they always do, and they don't believe them. Honestly, they're scared of these people because of the simple fact that they're practicing their constitutional rights to bear arms.
Hate groups, supposedly some white nationalists.
White nationalists.
White nationalists.
White nationalists.
White nationalist groups.
White supremacists.
White supremacists.
White supremacists. White extremists.
This entire rally stands in opposition to the meaning of this day.
Ahead of today's demonstration, the governor declared a state of emergency and banned all weapons on Capitol grounds. But outside that secured area, many demonstrators were heavily armed. Look at them. They look like soldiers there, some wearing body armor.
News media said that, even though they didn't put it completely in context, because the people who wore body armor, they was not wearing body armor, or they probably was not going to wear body armor until the governor of their state had this to say.
But we have received credible intelligence from our law enforcement agencies that there are groups with malicious plans for the rally that is planned for Monday. This includes out-of-state militia groups and hate groups, but no one wants another incident like the one we saw in Charlottesville in 2017.
They want everything and compare everything to Charlottesville. Now, Charlottesville was a sad incident, and yes, someone lost a life. There was one casualty in that whole event, that she was murdered by a white supremacist. The whole rally was done by white supremacists. These people in Virginia are not white supremacists. These are people from different backgrounds, different races, with the same mind frame of keeping the Constitution as it is and respecting it, especially the right to bear arms. This is not Charlottesville. And he tried to scare people to believe that it was going to be another Charlottesville, but it didn't turn out that way. Matter of fact, there was only, I believe, one person that was arrested, and it was an actual white supremacist. Nobody from any white supremacist group or anybody from Antifa would show up to a rally where constitutional Americans practice their right to bear arms. It wouldn't make sense for them. The news tried to paint it as if it was only white people out there. But they were wrong. Take it from this black guy.
I do not support in any way, shape, or form Governor Northam's and the Democrats' gun control. Everywhere. The news piece you've seen on this weekend, they've always brought up the issue of race, as though it's nothing but white rednecks and hillbillies out here who care for the Second Amendment, when actually Black Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, Americans in general care about the Second Amendment.
Personally, as a black man in America, I respect the Constitution. I respect this country, recognizing that I am an individual with God-given rights that should be able to defend themselves. Because if we just completely throw away the Constitution and just run by mob rule as a minority in this country, I'm probably going to get the short end of the stick. And I can see that. I don't have complete faith in the court system, but I understand how it's ran and operated, and I know that it is needed. But this one story out of Mississippi about this young man named Willie Nash kind of threw me for a loop. Apparently, Willie Nash was arrested for burglary because the judge said that he was a habitual offender. Now, while in jail, after being processed and everything, while in jail, he was texting his old lady, his girlfriend, if you don't know what that is, and she was asking where he was at, and he replied, "I'm in jail." His phone was going dead, and he slid his phone to the jailer asking for juice. The jailer took the phone, and after that, it came to the judge's attention of the cell phone being on Willie Nash's person. And when he was presented in front of the judge said, "You know, because that you're a habitual offender and that you have contraband, I can give you up to 15 years. Now, in the judge's grace and mercy, and just full thinking, he said, "Yo, I'm just going to give you 12 years. I'm going to take it light on you." Now, this threw me for a loop because of the simple fact that I've been in jail before. And I've known the process from being arrested to actually going to jail. They search you thoroughly, or they're supposed to. It seems to me that the procedure for booking an inmate was not followed through thoroughly. Because, like I said, I've been in that situation, and they search you. And also, not this judge who presided over the case, but another judge in the Supreme Court of Mississippi said, "First, it is highly probable that the Newton County Jail's booking procedure was not followed in the Nash's case. An officer at the jail testified that all inmates were strip searched when booked, although that officer did not book Nash. Yet Nash went into the jail with a large smartphone that would have likely been impossible to hide during a strip search. That officer also testified that all inmates were told during booking that they could not bring phones into the jail, but Nash's behavior was that of a person who did not know this, as he voluntarily showed the officer his phone and asked the officer to charge it for him." All contraband is considered contraband on the same level. Whether you have a phone, you have drugs, you have a weapon, all of it is considered the same thing. Like, it will give you the same amount of time. But for some reason, it just seems kind of strange that in this particular situation that Nash was not properly searched, and that it would be kind of dumb for him to willingly give a cell phone to the jailer to get some extra charge. It makes no sense for me to give you a way to give me more time. It just doesn't make sense. I think it's just really crazy for a man to have a cell phone and get 12 years, while a cop who went into somebody else's house, killed them, only got 10. I understand it's different states, but it just seems that the legal system is kind of warped on that situation. I hope Willie Nash gets an appeal, and I hope that they take it a little bit more lenient on him. I'm not saying that he is innocent of all things, but 12 years for a cell phone, that does seem a little bit excessive. Now, this last story that I have is on Young Jock. Now, Young Jock was videoed being a Uber or a Lyft, or what was it? I think it was a Pull Up and Go. I think that was the name of the company. Driver. And just, pretty much being a taxi. if you don't know what happened, let me just play you this little rundown of it.
Are you Young Jack? Can you turn around?
I mean, I think y'all already put that part together, yeah.
Oh, so you must have fell off or something. Like, why is you?
I gotta fall off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out. Like, you just driving for pull up and go. Like, what happened?
I mean, I just felt like it's an easy way to get some easy money right here downtown. I mean, I meet people, you know what I'm saying?
I really think that's okay.
You think that's what?
So you said, like, what happened?
And this kind of threw me for a loop for the simple fact that how the women were talking as if they had a car and then asking the man if he fell off. Let people make money. Like, it's only in the black community where we expect if you're rich that you're supposed to stay rich, and if you have money or if you lose money, you can't do a regular 9-to-5 job. Like, especially as a rapper, you need to be in the trap. You need to be selling dope and not. It's stupid. It's stupid. These women were disgusting on how they acted in Young Jock. Whether or not this was a stunt or not, if you're doing this for real, make your money, black man. Like, there is nothing wrong with being a driver, especially when you're in your own car and other people are asking you for rides. But that's just me. Only thing I have to say is, man, be humble. And what do y'all think about these stories? Like, honestly, what do you think? As always, do your own research. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Take it easy.
Thank you for staying to the end of the video. If you can, please like, share, subscribe to our page For Your Family Studios with an S. And also tell your friends about us. And if you have the time, please go to our Facebook and Instagram pages as well. Same name, For Your Family Studios.